What's going on? What's going on, good people?
What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing? I hope you guys are having a great day and doing better than me this day. First world problems for real right now. If you see any sniffing, eye rubbing, like right on cue, Mothra just flew by. So there's a shit ton of bugs out here tonight. I have never seen anything like it. So bear with us. Like I said, episode 73. We're gonna try to make it through and have a good time tonight and see what happens. Yeah.
Hey man, and like every other episode, get your accessories right, get the kiddies to bed, cause you might just hear some foul language. Let's get it, man.
Got that right. Roll the intro.
Perfect. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again to discuss what we are smoking and drinking at the Accessory Check-In. So, bro, what you smoking? What you drinking?
A cigar and some whiskey. What about you?
Damn.
No, I'm playing, but I'm not.
Somebody get this man some sage or something.
Yeah.
He needs something.
I think this is a Crown Heads. I think so.
I almost grabbed a crown head.
Series E.
Yeah,
this
it wasn't that one.
Real highly talked about when it came out. And today I was cleaning out some of my bottles, and I had a few bottles that had just a little bit left in it. And to fight the damn bug getting that I knew was going to be out here that I didn't know was going to be this bad, I have a mug, and it's basically an infinity mug, so I just pour some shit in it. Word. We'll see how it turns out. So far, so good.
Indeed.
The stronger, the better. How about you, man? What do you have this evening?
For my cigar choice, man, I got the West Tampa Tobacco Co. joint. This guy,
I almost grabbed that. And I promise you, I almost grabbed it.
And it's pretty good, man. It's a little, it's strong. Mm-hmm. Way stronger than the one I did for episode 72, but it's good so far, man. And my burn line is kind of okay, which is a rarity for me. And then for my drink, man, I got some what's this shit called? Buchanan Deluxe.
Oh, you finally figured out how to open the bottle, huh?
Yeah, because it's weird because it has one of those little lid things like you have at the bar where you got to put the little nozzle on top.
Oh yeah.
So you got to kind of fucking finesse that shit a little bit to get it pour. It doesn't pour like I like it has shitty water pressure on the bottle basically, man. It's just shitty. But
you didn't fuck around and got the damn bars bottle and
yeah, that's what it looks like. Yep, that's exactly what
only in Mississippi where they fuck around and sell you bar inventory.
First time ever in my life since I've been old enough to buy my own alcohol have I had to deal with this bullshit. No, that's not true because the big bottle of Crown does it too, but I can just pop that bitch out and get it popping. But that shit won't pop off until I take my Gerber to it, which I haven't done yet, but that's gonna happen before the night's over with. And yeah, man, so far so good on both of them, unlike episode 72, how I started off fucked up.
All right, we'll keep you guys posted on how our accessories treat us as the night goes on. Hopefully things will go well. Let's see what happens. All right, everybody, maybe this will help me feel better. Let's talk about some positive shit as a bug walks across my mouth on the screen. It's distracting. So what is best in life, brother, as we like to call the Wibble?
Well, I'm not outside with all the creatures, so that's the definite best in life, even though, I got my setup to where they can still come in here. But, I ain't out there in the elements, so that's what's best in life. Damn, you got to make that face up, man. Goddamn. Watch the first episode of the Lord of the Rings spin-off, The Ring of Power, whatever. And
that shit any good?
I don't know yet. It's just the first episode, but that one started off really, really slow. I like how they introduce certain characters. Like they even put the ghost or whatever the fuck you want to call him from the video game Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor. They actually put him in there, so I thought that was really dope. And episode 2, I think, is going to bring Gandalf because some naked dude just came in off a comment. So
okay, well, all right.
I think it's Gandalf, but you know what I'm saying.
So is it a prequel or?
Yeah, it's a prequel.
I didn't really follow that one too much.
Like, what's her name? The one that gave Frodo the necklace in Lord of the Rings.
Gotcha.
She's like late teens, early 20s.
Okay.
So, and what's his name? The leader of the elves was
Man, shit, I
Elrond.
don't remember none of them names anymore.
Yeah, the motherfucker who faced it this shit when he was talking in the movie. That motherfucker. He
Mm-hmm.
they showing him before he took over power and all this other stuff. So it's like way before
Mm-hmm.
the Lord of the
Okay.
Rings. Yeah, that and first draft for fantasy football done today, man. It was pretty good draft. I didn't get all the players I was trying to get, but when you go uh when you're the sixth person to go, you normally don't get the cream of the crop right off the bat.
Yeah.
So gotta get what you
Mm-hmm.
can get. Make some trades and stuff like that and all that other good
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Chiante's fundraiser's going well, man. We looked online and he's in the top 3 for sales right now. So that's pretty fucking dope.
Are they still doing that shit where the top sellers get prizes?
Yeah, well, you get a prize regardless on how many items you sell or whatever, but he's in the top 3 and his father happens to be very fucking competitive. So we got a couple more days. I'm trying to push him up to at least the number 2 spot if I can't get him number 1. Because if you're not first, you're last. God damn it! If you're not
How
first,
how far away from number two is he? Did they show
um,
like the dollar values?
when I looked earlier today, he was in second place. So
Mm,
Janae looked a few hours ago and he bounced back at the third place. I know when he was in second place, he was at 300, 310 total.
okay.
So somebody else didn't outbeat him. And shout out to my homeboy Meekum that I knew from Atlanta. He's in the fantasy football shit with us. He purchased some today, man. So appreciate the support, big dog. And with that, man, that's what's best in life.
Mm.
How about you, man? How about you?
Well, to kick off this section, my cigar just fell off in the cigar rest, so I knocked my ash over. So it's gonna be one hell of a day.
Damn, boy, you having a Kevin night.
Mhm. So I won't let that slow me down. So I'm pretty chill. Simone went to a birthday party and she had fun. It was a little pool party. So she had a good time. That was cool. So me and the little guy was hanging out. While he was asleep, got some cleaning done, reorganized my alcohols and whatnot. So, and hence the infinity cup, as I like to call it. So made some more room. You know, when you make some more room, you can add some more. So ready for that. That's
Oh,
always
that's lit.
good. I was hoping to be like, yeah, I got a bug zapper and I created a nice bug free environment. Cap, as the kids say. Shit did not happen at all, as you can see on the microphone, on my flag, across my eyes. But oh well, you know what? Some would say I seem angry, but you know what? I am out here with a very good cigar, a nice setup, good times, hanging out with my brother. So you know what? I ain't gonna let the shit get me down.
There you go.
I might fuck around and joke around like I'm still pissed off, but I'm really not that bad. Some
There
fucking
you go.
bullshit.
There you go.
Nah, just kidding. So really don't have that much since yeah, it is what it is. That's what's best.
All right. So
Mm-hmm.
before we move on, I just thought about it. And this is going to be a part of the Melanin Warriors merch line, as well as the Isla Nani Creations is already selling these now. She just put them out.
Mm-hmm.
But we got the Melanin Warriors podcast keychain. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
cool, cool, cool.
And it's not just any keychain, it's a Spotify keychain. So y'all can just, you know what I'm saying, use a little QR scanning thing and scan that
Oh, that's
right
dope.
there, and it'll go straight to the Melanin Warriors page on Spotify,
Mm-hmm.
man. So
That'll be dope to give to people too. It's like little giveaways and
oh
shit.
yeah, hell yeah. That was the plan. Because they're really we're a really good option to give away for starting some stuff. So y'all look for that keychain giveaway. It's coming real
What the
soon.
fuck is that? Go ahead, man. Sorry.
Y'all look out for the keychain giveaway. It's coming real soon, man. And now that is what's best in life.
Cool, man. Cool.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we haven't really dove into firearms as much as we used to, but we coming back with something, man. You know what I'm saying? In self-defense training there,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion, and even in trainers' opinions, there's a certain distance you should actually practice in just in case you're in a self-defense incident. So we're going to base it off of what we've been taught and, you know, what our personal opinion is, you know,
Mm-hmm.
our comfortable distance or whatever's comfortable for us. Because at the end of the day, we're all firearm training. It's whatever you're comfortable with at the end of the day, regardless of whoever teaches you whatever. So, what do you think, man? Self-defense training distances. What do you think the distances are? What is a safe distance to defend yourself?
I think when I first started getting into firearms, you were kind of taught like most self defense situations are going to be like, right in your general vicinity on up to like say no more than 10 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of like the going thing. So if you'd have a range day, you do like, I mean, I used to do like 3 yards, 5 yards, 7 yards, 10 yards, and just train at those distances. And that was kind of it. And even when you like watch online, that's kind of like the consistent theme is anywhere traditionally from like 3 to 10 yards, usually no more than 10 yards is what I'll say. And so that's consistently what I've seen. But with the incident in Indiana, it's really, I don't say changed, but it's really added a factor to, and I'll even add, because we just alluded to it a little bit when we were talking about the shooting in Buffalo.
Mm.
It really kind of changes the fact of, yes, self-defense one-on-one, is probably still going to be from, right up on you to 10 yards. However, you still got to think of like self-defense is like in the terms of like a mass shooter or however you want to define that as, because if you're carrying and you have an opportunity to save lives and you're at a distance, you should still be factoring in, going up 25 yards, 10, 15, 20, 25 yards. And even, in the case like in Indiana, was he 40, 50 yards away? I
Something like that, yeah.
can't remember right now. I used to know, but it's like 40, because even like on YouTube, like all the gun YouTubers were doing the drill of 10 rounds under so many seconds at 40 yards away, kind of recreating the situation without, the stress of being
Mm-hmm.
in an actual situation, recreating that and kind of seeing like how you fare. And so I mean, that like after that situation, it really kind of changed my perspective, if you will. So, I mean, I thought about, definitely want a red dot because, yes, I mean, irons are fine. If you train with irons, you can be just fine with irons. Hell, in real self defense shootings, you're not even going to really have a lot of time to even line up your shot, really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of times it's just going to be general vicinity as close as you can, aim for center of mass. But now you have to factor in, can you make a good hit at 25 yards? Can you make a good hit at 50 yards? Can you make a good hit at 20 yards? So I don't think all your training needs to be at those further away distance. I think the bulk of your training should still be in that 10 and under. But at the end of a range, but the other challenge is your ranges, the capability of the range.
Yeah.
So, most of your training, I would say, would be like that short distance. But then every now and then, get out to a good outdoor range that's got some distance and see how you fare at 20 yards, see how you fare at 25 yards, see how you fare at even 50 if you can get a range that'll let you do that. Take
Mm-hmm.
some training classes on distance pistol firing. Because I mean, like I watch what is his name? Honest Outlaw.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the pistols he's testing, he shoots anywhere. I mean, a lot of it's traditional ranges, but I mean, he even pulls that bitch back from 50 to 100 yards and is still hitting steel at 100 yards. That dude's an amazing shot, by the way. So, I mean, he's doing it with like everything: iron sights, budget guns, expensive guns, red dots, 1911s across the board. And so, I mean, I think it's something to factor in your training. Like, you don't have to be, I mean, you want to be as proficient as you can and then factor in ranges. So, I mean, I think hitting as many ranges as you're comfortable with shooting. I mean, I don't think you need to go anything past, say, 100 yards. I mean, and I wouldn't even do that regularly. I'm just saying maybe if you have a place that lets you shoot a pistol out that far, try it every now and then to see how you fare and just to know what it feels like if you have to do something like that. I mean, if you're shooting a pistol at 100 yards, you've got different issues, I'm sure. I mean, I would say 35 to 50 yards. Try that, every quarter or something like that. See if you can get out somewhere and get at a shot, man. So, what do you think?
Um, all of that is absolutely correct, especially in terms of pistols, because like the trainers say, between 3 to 7 yards is where you're most going to be in a
Mm-hmm.
confrontation, to where you gotta defend yourself. But there are those occasions like the shooting in Indiana where,
Mm-hmm.
but it just, what I'm saying, from a nice little distance. So I mean, it's not bad to train like that, especially in the environment we're in, because you literally never fucking know when you're gonna be involved with a fucking active shooter incident. You never know, because the shit can happen anywhere, anytime, any fucking place. And it's better to be prepared for the shit, not be prepared for the shit.
Yeah, that's real.
So train a little further, 50 yards, 75, no more than that, because that's when your aim starts to deteriorate and the round starts to drop. So you gotta consider that shit too, with the distance you have, and it also depends on what you're shooting, because it depends on what you want to practice with. If you want to be one of those guys, like, you can do it in Texas, you can do it here, but you don't really see it. But you Texas folks who walk around with a whole fucking AR like it's fucking Call of Duty. If that's your primary for fucking self-defense, then you don't want to practice from 3 to fucking 7.
You don't see that too often. Just when they're protesting at an FBI place, but that's neither here nor there.
Shots fired. Whoops.
Pun intended, right?
Most definitely. But depending on what you're shooting, if you're shooting an AR, then of course further distance. When I go out there and shoot, when I go to shoot my rifles, I don't never do it up close. It's always from a distance. I do iron sights. I put my sights back on, re-zero them bitches, and then just train, because you got to train until you're proficient, because shooting is a perishable skill. Another weapon, a shotgun, for instance, hit 3 to 5. You ain't got to aim that bitch. You didn't mock out, and then you gonna hit something.
I've actually and maybe we'll talk about that one day. I've been doing a lot of video watching on that, and that seems to be more of a myth. And because it also depends on your load too. Yeah. I mean, because if you're shooting like double-aught buck, yes, it does matter. If you're shooting slugs, it matters.
But if you're shooting just your basic, you know what I'm saying, your basic buck shots, the shit spreads. So like the ammo that I use, it spreads. It'll put a hole straight through it that you can see through, but it also spreads out too. So it's kind of awesome. I love that fucking ammo. It makes me happy. But yeah,
the guy who wanted to get rid of his shotgun, but go ahead.
I did, but it's gonna stay right where it is. That was actually the first weapon I actually bought, was my shotgun. So that motherfucker ain't going nowhere. That has sentimental fucking value. I've only shot it twice in my life though, because it's aggressive. I need to put the regular butt stop back on. I don't like the pistol grip, but that's just my preference. But back on distance and training for distance, 3, 5, 7, like you said, all the way. Because I know the range I go to is like, I think maybe it stops at 25 yards.
Oh, that's good.
And typically that's gonna be within that time frame. Because if a motherfucker's running at you, he ain't gonna run at you from 3 yards away. About 20, 25 yards away, you'll have somebody coming at you trying to fucking knock your head off. So you got to be ready to knock them motherfucking head off. And the trick, and then send a mass, regardless of your fucking distance. Send a mass. Now, if you want to try to be like my man in Indiana, you know what I'm saying, you can practice headshots. I practice headshots at a distance also, because like I said again, you never know what kind of mass shooter incident you're gonna have, and the majority of these fucking fools go in that bitch kitted up. So you ain't gonna take them down with a 9mm to the chest. You're gonna have to hit their ass in the face a couple fucking times to drop them. So just all different kinds of training techniques. And if you're not like proficient with the training techniques, then go to your local fucking gun range and say, hey, what kind of training do y'all have as far as distances and stuff like that? Because they'll train you up. They love it. They'll love to
take your money. Yeah.
And hell, most of these trainers are just passionate about, you know what I'm saying, shooting and making sure people know how to do the shit safely and, you know what I'm saying, proficiently. So that's really it. Those are the distances, I think. And the military, we train way differently, because if an enemy gets that close to us, we already fucked up. That's what my drill sergeant would say. So
I mean that's a whole different set of considerations.
It is. So, I was like, you know what, drill sergeant, you goddamn right. Push, Fowler. Oh fuck. But I mean that's the true point. We ain't gonna dive into that rabbit hole on military and police and everything. Even as a correction officer, you gotta shoot. I think it was 25 meters was the furthest that we had to shoot, and I'm pretty sure police officers is more or less the same thing, unless you're SWAT and you gotta hit a motherfucker 300 meters away.
You're getting the sniper type shit right there. I mean, that's a whole different line of consideration right there.
Man, that's one regret I had, is not going to fucking sniper school. I got offered that shit right before I went to the GD program they had before I went to basic, and I was like, hell no, I ain't doing that shit. This is wartime, motherfucker. I want to do this mechanic shit. stay in a little garage or something. Don't do none of that bullshit. Fuck that. That's not what I'm here for. And then fuck around deploy and I ain't turning out one wrench. I'm in the goddamn turret for 12 months. Like this some bullshit. I should have went to goddamn sniper school. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it, man. Just get you some distance training. Like bro does, look at some videos, all that good stuff, and then find out what distance is comfortable for you to defend yourself. You don't want to be like 1 yard a fucking way because it's way too late if y'all touching nose to nose.
Well, I disagree with you a little bit on that.
Well, I mean, you could train, you could train.
Well, what I'm saying is, like, I've looked at like combatives. So, like, let's say you get in a situation like we know about where you're actually in a physical altercation, and that person may or may not has a weapon, and you have to shoot to defend yourself. In that case, that might be like right up in here because that's a little different.
Yeah, but I ain't gonna let a motherfucker get that close to me.
But what I'm saying is that it can happen. So at least be prepared for it. I mean, you never know. You might not let 3 of them get close to you, but if that second and third one, you know what I'm saying, at least be prepared for it is what I'm saying.
Full disclosure, everybody out there, if you want to try me because I'm fucking short and you get this motherfucking close, I'm headbutting the fuck out you. The fuck. If you get that close, I'm headbutting the fuck out you. I'm telling you.
You mad, bro.
I've been wanting to do that shit for about 10 years anyway. Just, oh yeah, Mac. We ain't even gonna talk about this shit no more. I'm just going to headbutt this shit. But I digress.
You did bring up an interesting point I kind of wanted to dig into just a little bit because mostly in my point, I focused on self-defense, considering self-defense with a pistol. And it was, I was kind of thinking of, you're concealed carrying, you're out and about, and some shit goes down, and you have to, pull your firearm from concealment and fire from there. But when you talked about rifles and shit, that's a different consideration, I would say, because you get into like home defense consideration, maybe like if you're in a situation where you're in your vehicle and you have your truck gun or a backpack gun or however you want to carry it, or like you said, you got the motherfucking AR sling on the back of your back, like you going for some shit. So
go to Walmart, babe.
Whatever the case may be. I would want to talk about, so would you feel that like training close distances with an AR is important too?
Yeah, because a lot of times, especially for home defense, you're gonna grab the first thing that's closer to you if you have multiple, or maybe you just that dude who wants to intimidate more than actually fucking drop down your home invader. You want to pull that fucking rifle out. So hell yeah, close distance is also important. Not just shooting close distance with a rifle too, but busting their butches in the head with that butt stock too. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, training like that's actually important too, because if they get that close to you, you got a rifle. You got to know how to fend yourself off with that fucking rifle so you can fucking shoot.
And if you're out of ammo or misfire or with everything,
yeah, I'm just gonna bite your motherfucking ass.
I'm
told you this close.
I'm not. Monkeypox and all that shit's out here. Fuck that shit. I ain't biting no damn body.
I knew you was gonna say it, but
you damn right.
Hell yeah, distance training is definitely important there too.
So kind of when I run my scenarios in my head, what I would envision if something goes bump in the night, my first instinct would be to grab my pistol, and once shit is clear, make my way to the rifle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because with the rifle, you're gonna have better accuracy, better control, further range. You know what I'm saying? And the pistol can become like a secondary firearm, if you will. So if that rifle, something happens, you run out of ammo, it jams. I mean, if you run out of ammo in a home defense situation, it's the zombie apocalypse or something. You got some other issues.
You shouldn't have to use the whole 30-round mag.
I mean, if you fire off 30,
that's excessive.
5.56. I mean, you've had an invasion. I mean, some shit's going really down. Like, we're not talking about self-defense anymore. We're talking about Walking Dead or World War Z or some shit. So, but it's interesting though, just thinking of self-defense and stuff like that. So
yeah,
fun. Yeah. Let us know what you guys think, and let us know how you guys train, and let us know if there's any trainers out there that you guys would recommend. I mean, I was watching the video today of somebody training, but they were more so training for competitive shooting, and they were training to improve not only their shot time but also their accuracy as well as speed. And it was pretty impressive.
Yeah, I want to get in there one day.
All right, everybody. You see it on the screen. UGH, making sure I spelled right. I am an engineer. I am not an English major, so sometimes I double check my spelling. But on this particular one, we wanted to talk about the divestment movement. It was something I never heard of, to be completely honest with you. But as I peruse on like different parts of YouTube and video essays and different concepts and different schools of thought on different things, and I mean, there's a whole bunch of things like there's a save yourself black man, there's a MGTOW, men going their own way, there's a whole manosphere movement, there's a pick me kind of thing, but this one tonight I wanted to talk about because I thought that was the most interesting, especially given our marital statuses, and especially in my case, I don't even really have a dog in the fight because I'm married and I'm married to a black woman, and we ain't got to worry about that shit. So, I thought we'd chime in and talk about it a little bit. So, and I'll give a so basically the divestment movement, to sum it up real quick and give a note card summary, is where women in particular are fed up with the relationships with black men and feel like that the best solution for them is to step away from relationships with black men. And there's other things that they divest from too, but in particularly for tonight's discussion, focusing on the relationships with black men. And there was an article that I read one time where, especially like with Kamala Harris and her husband, and then when Ketanji Brown Jackson was sworn in as a Supreme Court justice, they were talking about, maybe you might want to consider getting you a white man. And so basically what it means is stepping away from black men, and traditionally it's seen as like going to pursue relationships with white men, but it could be other non-black men as well, but particularly it's white men. So what are your thoughts on the divestment movement? And it's especially interesting to hear from you as you are in an interracial marriage, so let's talk.
Yeah, man, most definitely, man. First of all, mine has nothing to do with, what I'm saying, hate on my melanin sisters or anything like that. Just I found my wife, she found me. Woot, 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 you know what I'm saying? I'm not
You're
the
right.
type to really trip on race and everything like that. And as far as race goes, that shit's just fucking stupid. You better get yourself a white man. They'll treat your ass just as fucking bad, if not worse, some fucking times. And some of them may have good credit or oh, and by the way, about to get vulgar real quick. The whole myth that white boys eat fucking pussy better is a goddamn lie. God damn it. I'm just putting that out there. They don't eat the best pussy. We eating pussy too. But
I didn't know there was like an Olympics and no shit. So
hell yeah, man. You got the shot put method. You know what I'm saying?
coming in on the third leg for the standing quickie.
Flip a tongue McGee. But no, in all seriousness, honestly just think they're delusional, man. It's another form of self-hate, in my opinion. You hating your own people.
Interesting.
You hating your own people for whatever reason. Oh, this man didn't treat you right, that man didn't treat you right, this man didn't treat you right. And a lot of times they don't even look at themselves in this fucking occasion. Maybe it's not them, maybe it's your ass. Yeah, you got to do some little self-reflecting before you just say, oh, like the one video you sent me, she was like, oh, they're trash, the hashtag this, I'm not gonna be part of a hashtag and all this other stuff. And that person right there took that shit to a whole nother level. She pretty much said, you know what I'm saying, fuck the melanin man altogether, dating, whatever. If he's a victim of police brutality, fuck him. That's the type of, you know what I'm saying, energy some of these divestment movement people are fucking giving off. And it's kind of, it's fucked up. There's no other way fucking around it. It's like you spitting in your granddaddy's face, you spitting in your daddy's face, your brothers, your uncles. You pretty much saying fuck the whole male side of your fucking family because, sorry, sis, they melanin. So you just gonna have to fucking deal with it. But to each his own, like always, if that's what you prefer, everybody has a type. And you know what I'm saying? But don't flip the script when brothers is doing it and be like, oh, that motherfucker sold out. This motherfucker this motherfucker that. Because even to now, me and my wife, who is Chamorro, guys, if y'all don't know what Chamorro is, it's a Pacific Islander from Guam, a native from Guam or whatever. And me and my wife still get fucking dirty looks. But it's not that I sold out on my people because I fucking love my melanin people, man. My brothers are standing strong, good solid brothers, man. And my sisters are strong and solid and all this other shit. And another video was like, we black women can't continue to be the rescuers and the this and the that, and we can't fix this. Sometimes we need somebody to hold our hand and help us out and lift us up and blah 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 blah. And it all depends on your circle and your fucking mindset. If that's your fucking mindset, I mean, that particular one wasn't an L anyway. Ugh, keeper. But
I know exactly which one you're talking about. That's hilarious. But go ahead.
Yeah. But in the same breath, if you're on that level about your melanin man sisters, you cannot say you for the people, man. You cannot say, oh, rock natural, shop fucking black on and all this other shit. If you shitting on the same melanin fucking people in relationships as yeah, but I don't feel like you could be both pro-black and be a part of this divestment movement, because you pretty much shitting on your fucking melanin brothers and at the same time promoting all these other races and everything like that, not even a part of your own. Like, I get it if that's not what you want. If you prefer Caucasian brothers, Indian, Asian, whatever, you do you by all means, but don't shit on your same fucking race at the same time. Just, hey, I got a fucking preference and let it be that. There shouldn't even be no fucking divestment movement. It's just another fucking tool being used to divide our fucking people more than what we fucking divided as well. Like, oh, the violence in the prisons is not enough. Let's keep the fucking melanin sisters away from the melanin brothers, because their population is starting to grow way too motherfucking fast. And these silly, simple-minded, delusional motherfuckers is falling for this shit.
Oh God.
Sorry, I mean, not sorry, but they fucking falling for the shit. And I know y'all to see my wife on the show and all this other shit and the trolls. I'm ready for you. Fuck you, fight me, bitch. And I know my wife isn't black at all. She's not at all. But at the same time, I don't shit on my people. I still got love for my melanin sisters, just like I got love for everybody in the fucking world, really, man, because ain't nothing cooler than every ethnicity just getting the fucking along and all this other shit. But the divestment movement is singling out and shitting on the melanin brothers, and I don't like that shit at all, man. I think, like I said, them motherfuckers is delusional as fuck, and they need to fucking wake up and smell the fucking melanin around this bitch. What you think, sir?
All right, so tonight's perspective is brought to you by a quote that I heard on, I think, Facebook or somewhere, Instagram somewhere, and it wasn't even related to this, but it applies. It was like, yes, the grass is greener on the other side, only because it's covered in bullshit. So with that in mind, that's where I'm going to go. So a lot of times from what I've seen is it's a lack of frustration. And I do want to recognize that frustration. That frustration is real. I get that. And I do, sympathize with that. But I will say that a lot of times what you see is like you said, who are you choosing? You know what I mean? It's like, and I mean, I just think about proximity in your circles that you travel. Like,
oh yeah,
I know, gosh, at least 100 without even thinking hard. I mean, and again, you don't know what's going on behind closed doors, but successful black couples, you know what I mean? That show affection, that love each other, that support each other, that do all the shit that you want. You know what I mean? And you can't say that the whole, you know what I'm saying? Like the entire demographic of black men is just trash. It's clearly the ones you fuck with and the ones you see. You know what I mean? And that's really what it boils down to. And I mean, on the other side of that, I mean, the fellas that are the same way, that are like, I only date white women because, they're more submissive, and a woman is, a white woman is easier to control, or whatever the case, whatever your excuse de jour is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you ain't got your shit in order, how can you expect the person that you're with to be to your standard, or be to what you feel that you need? You know what I mean?
That's
And I think you have to ask that. I mean, and don't be thinking that your shit don't stink, and don't think that you ain't got shit that you can't work on. And I mean, yeah, you may have found some fucked up brothers. I mean, there's some fucked up shit that happens out there. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you got your baby boys out there, and your sorry ass dudes. Don't get me wrong, but there was a comedian that I saw that he was basically like, he was dating a black chick, and he was a white guy, and he was like, he told his black homeboy about it, and then she basically said she only messes with white guys because black men ain't shit. And the black dude was like, yo, you need to cheat on her for the culture.
That's funny.
And that shit was hilarious to me. But I say that to say, like, just because you go to a different race, it don't mean that you gonna get you a guy
Mm-hmm.
that ain't gonna cheat on you, ain't gonna abuse you, ain't gonna do you wrong. I mean, just as many cases as there are of, like, a domestic dispute when you have, two black people in a relationship. Interracial couples have the same too.
Mm-hmm.
And you also have like different demographics to deal with. You have like, and you experienced it on your side, you have racism from the family, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you have to deal with that kind of shit too. And that's a whole nother dynamic that, you don't have to deal with. You know what I mean?
That's
You
true.
also you also have to deal with, they may be fetishized. Shit, bug on my lip, and I saw it. They may be fetish. Let me make sure I can pronounce this word. They may be fetishizing you. Hopefully, I said that right. Again, I'm an engineer, so language ain't my thing. But they may be treating you as like, oh, let's slave play. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember reading an article once where the woman was like, or it was a calling show or some shit, where the woman was like, my white fiance calls me the N word in bed, and I don't like it. Did divesting help you there? I mean, I don't get it. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
what happened? I mean, and I just look at it from a perspective of like, you're making judgments on basically the shit that you see on social media, and it's always the vocal minority. And I mean, this movement might even be the vocal minority. You know what I mean? I just don't know, but it's just one of those things that came up that I started seeing over and over and over and over and over again. So I thought I'd get my thoughts on it. And
Mm-hmm.
so again, love who you love. I mean, I've got friends that are in a really damn, I hit that. I got friends, but I know interracial couples,
I
and
got
I
interracial
don't.
friends.
Yeah,
I
I
have
mean, it's
two.
whatever. You love who you love, and I don't really give a shit. But don't think that you've won the relationship lottery because
Mm-hmm.
you decide to divest. I mean, probably didn't, to be honest with you. I mean, like I said, you've got different sets of factors to deal with. I mean, you're not gonna escape from white supremacy because you decide to go holler at Brad. I mean,
Mm-mm.
you know, you
You're gonna
still
be
can
on
have
the
issues.
fucking right in the center of that bullshit.
Mhm.
Because I
I mean, and then
guarantee his family
there's
got at least two clan members in it.
yeah, and then I mean, there was one story that I think I remember hearing where the woman, I think she met a Tinder guy or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and she ended up dead, and the cops didn't even interview the guy as a suspect.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you talking like white privilege and shit like that. You know what I mean? So don't think that just because you didn't got a Brad, you didn't got saved, and don't think you're gonna be like the next Kamala Harris or the next Ketanji Brown Jackson or the next
Mm-hmm.
Meghan Markle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't think that that's gonna move you up in the lottery or nothing. You
Yeah.
ain't hit the jackpot. I mean, again, I don't give a shit who you love. I really don't. I don't. I really just don't. I mean, really, that's what it boils down to me. However, don't think that because you decide to say that I've sworn off black men altogether that you've done something, that you're making some monumental leap towards progression. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
don't think it's really that. I don't think it's really that simple. I mean, you're like I said, you're still gonna have problems. I mean, everybody's got their baggage, everybody's got shit they got to deal
Mm-hmm.
with, and you just got a different set of problems.
Yep.
And okay, I mean, and you make the argument of like one of the videos I was listening to where the woman was saying that like she saw like her dad left her mom, and the mom had to take care of the family, and it was like the mom and the grandma, and it was like the network of women taking care of everybody, and that even that the girls in the family are raised to basically take care of the family, and the boys in the family are coddled.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, well, shit. Where was that at growing up? I damn sure wasn't coddled, mother. I had to
Yeah.
work.
Y'all seen episode 72. I sure was a
Shit.
goddamn coddle. What? What they calling there?
So I mean, to me it seems like it comes from a place of hurt, and
Mm-hmm.
just don't think that because you've come to this decision that you got all this shit together. I mean, that's really all I'm saying. Like, if you decide that you find the features of a white man more attractive, and that's what you like, I mean, so be it. That's fine. But don't make, and I mean, I say that too to the fellas too that feel that. I mean, if that's what you like, that's what you like. I don't care. But don't make it seem like I go to that because that's a better option than sticking with a black woman,
Yeah.
or in this case, a black man. I mean, because a lot of times it's not, or it's not one is better than the other. Really, I mean, people are people, and people
Yeah.
gonna do people shit. Like a good friend of mine always says, people are gonna people, and once you realize that shit, I mean, you gonna make more sense of things. And again, I mean, I don't want to get, and most people probably won't even care about what I'm going to say. I'm a numbers nerd, and I think about like bias and sample sizes and shit like that. And a lot of times, like from what I hear, a lot of their decisions are based on, and I'm gonna say it, sample sizes that are statistically insignificant. And what that basically means is because you've dealt with three people, and they all ain't shit. That doesn't mean that the entire population ain't shit. You know what I mean?
True.
And it doesn't reflect the entire population. It might affect, if you meeting all guys at the club and you be like, oh, they ain't shit. Okay. Or you'd have met all your potential dates on Tinder, or, and what I always like to do in situations where I have a belief formed, find a situation that contradicts my belief, or see if I can find a situation that, if I have a theory or a hypothesis, if you will, and it's basically science based, find something that proves that wrong, or find the exception, or see if what you think may be the exception is actually more often than not. I mean, there's brothers that ain't shit. There's white dudes that ain't shit. There's Asian dudes that ain't shit. I mean, I mean, for real. I mean, and so you just gotta really be careful and just think about what you're saying, and don't think that you've got it all figured out because you decided that Brad is the way to go.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think that's all I got, man.
Yeah. Only thing is, and I'm done with it, is I feel like this is the I gotta have it now era. They don't want to put in that work. One of them other videos, I shouldn't have to kiss a whole bunch of frogs to find my prince or some shit like that. But honestly, that's exactly what you're gonna have to do. Trial and error, regardless of what race you dating, regardless of what race you are. Like you said,
Right.
bro. Males and females of every demographic, every ethnicity, whatever the fuck, ain't shit to some extent. There's gonna be one or two somewhere. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the military and I've met a lot of different races that really ain't shit, male and fucking female. It's just all about the work you put into it. And if you put in the work, regardless of what race that person is that you're dating, it's gonna be awesome. But you feel like because you didn't date like 4 or 5 melanin brothers and your dad left and all this other shit that all melanin brothers ain't shit. Well, what about fucking Brad that grew up in a fucking trailer park who daddy left his mama and all that other shit that you dealing with now, and then you stuck with that. And then, like you said, they like the I've always had this fantasy of slave master and slave. That must be the dumbest fucking shit fucking ever. Bite his penis off, ladies. Bite his fucking bite it off. Fuck him. But I digress. But at the end of it, relationships, regardless of what race, it just takes work. It takes work to figure out the person that you with. And it takes work to figure out the person you are. Because I guarantee you, every female that this divestment movement cannot pinpoint where their fucking flaws are, where their errors are. It's always the dude. It's the dude. It's the dude.
I don't think that they can't. I would argue to say that they refuse not to and look at the external versus the internal. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I mean, I would say that's more of the case, is where it's like you may have trauma that maybe leads you to that decision. You know what I'm saying? And would you come to that same conclusion if you look at it from a different space or a different vantage point? And what are you looking for? I mean, that's the other thing too. So I mean, if you thinking that you're gonna get this 6-figure plus 7-figure whatever stockbroker, investment banker, whatever, that's gonna just take care of you, he may kick your ass.
Yep.
Is it worth it?
On the thinking of it on the material side, and the Caucasian man can eat pussy better type shit. That's really superficial. Now I get it. You know what I'm saying? If because there are some people out there who suffered some real physical abuse from
sure
the same sex they're on. Now see that I understand, because you know what I'm saying, that trauma will resurface every time you with that same person. Like melanin sister, melanin dude's beating her ass, raping her, all that type of shit. Of course, you're not gonna be drawn to that particular demographic any fucking more because of your trauma. But you have to recognize that there is trauma there, not just discount the whole fucking race as a fucking whole. Acknowledge your trauma and heal, and you know what I'm saying, patch yourself up and try it again, because you know we know some decent ass motherfucking brothers, man. Let's just be real, man. All motherfuckers ain't dogs and out there cheating, and it's bros before hoes, and I ride for my dogs, I lie to my bitch. Me personally, I think that shit little tambourine-ish, personally, because no, fuck y'all, I'm going where there's vagina at. That's always been my mindset. But even still, ladies who are just completely delusional, haven't suffered any trauma like that, really sit back and think about what the fuck you doing. If that's your particular preference, because everybody has a preference. Everybody, you know what I'm saying, don't just fuck with ratchets. Everybody just don't fuck with debutantes. I mean, everybody has their own picks when it comes to, you know what I'm saying, what they like as far as relationships and who they want to share their fucking life with, which is cool. But don't discount any fucking body just because the race they fucking are. It's racism, it's self-hate, because like I said, you was, a lot of these fucking women are melanin, they was brought into this world by a fucking melanin man. You ain't coming here with your kinky hair and stuff by your goddamn self. You ain't mixed no shit like that. You want to fucking us. You want to us. Your mama and your daddy is fucking melanin, and you pretty much spitting in your daddy's face. You spitting in your ancestors' face, and it's fucking ridiculous, man.
Yep. So eventually, if ever somebody comments on this, you know, I like to hear it, and you know, I wouldn't even mind bringing you on.
I'm with
that. What I'm saying? I mean, and it won't be like a battle or anything. I just like to hear your perspective. You know what I mean? What drove you to that?
Yep. Just be mindful. I'm a little bit more blunt than my big brother. So if you come,
I'm blunt too, but you know, I try to see all sides in the situation, you know, before I make judgment.
I'm a headbutt you if you get too close type of motherfucker. That's me.
But we've established that this evening.
But yeah, whatever your choice in life is, that's your life. That's your choice. You make it. Of course, people ain't gonna agree with your fucking decisions. That's neither here nor fucking there. But my opinion, ladies especially, because brothers do it too. Brothers are divestment motherfuckers too, because they all melanin women got attitudes and all they want is money and this and this. That ain't the fucking case either. Don't worry, sisters. I got y'all back. Because the men do the same fucking shit.
Yeah.
And it's really not the case. You can't base a couple of bad relationships or a couple of bad situations on an entire fucking race of people.
I mean, there was a brother that was basically like, you know, he don't mess with black women, and it was young too, relatively young, and he ended up getting, I think she was a TikTok influencer or some shit, and coming to find out, she killed him, or allegedly, I'll say allegedly, and she's arrested, she's in jail right now, I think, because of that. So, you know, people just fucked up. It's just what kind of fucked up you willing to deal with. So
yeah,
that's all I got.
Everybody got some baggage that either you can be a stand-up-ish type person, try to help them through it until it's just no way of fucking helping them and keep fucking pushing, versus just completely discounting fucking all of them, because those are the type of people that'll see a group of melanin brothers in the mall like, ugh, disgusting. Like, look at your ankles, bro. But anyway,
she's got the ankles too. Yeah. All right, everybody. So we're gonna do. I guess it's kind of shifting gears, but it's kind of not. We're parents, and we wanted to talk about, like, you know, as you're bringing your kids up, kind of two sides to this. One, do you want to teach your kids the same exact lessons that you were taught the same way? And then also on the other side of that, do you think that, you know, because you learned something a particular way, that's the right way and it should always be taught that way?
First of all, good topic. What I'm gonna start with was, you know, as everybody that's been following us for this long, I was a young parent. I was still a teenager when I became a parent. So my knowledge of being a parent was whoop their ass fucking everything. Whoop them, beat their ass, fuck them up, everything, beat their ass. But you know, as I evolve, I still do believe in whoopings. But I believe in whoopings all the way to the point where they actually understand what the fuck is right and wrong. It's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
the same concept as don't touch that. It's fucking hot. You silly ass touch it and burn yourself. That pain is for the
Mm-hmm.
lesson. And as they get fucking older, you don't have to teach them in that manner because they understand more.
Mm-hmm.
Because even Kevin Yon, he's 5. I don't have to whoop
Mm-hmm.
his ass hardly fucking at all. Really, it's just you fucked up. Get your ass right before I
Mm-hmm.
fuck you up, type shit. And that was one of those lessons I learned. I was getting my ass whooped well into about 14, I believe. I think maybe
Well, damn.
maybe like 14, 13, something like that. But I mean that was just how mama was raised and everything like that. And
Mm-hmm.
it made me a better person as far as the lessons that I was taught, and try to impart those same fucking experiences, especially with my older ones. I don't
Mm-hmm.
really do that. It's more of when I was going through this, I did this, I did this. I recommend that you do this and this and this, but you're also at the age where you got your own mind. Go ahead and live your life. And it's the same thing with the younger ones. You know what I'm saying? When I was younger, we did A, B, and C, and you should be like this and like this and like this. And that's when you have to actually know your child, because
Mm-hmm.
you can't teach your child the same shit that you learn or experience, because they're different. Every personality is different. Now, if they go in the exact same fucking route that you're going, doing the exact same thing you're doing, moving exactly the same, of course you can be like, hey man, you want to chill with that bullshit, because this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen. And to avoid that, you should do this, 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 and fucking this. And
Mm-hmm.
whether they listen or whether they not. I mean, Kevandre is a prime example. I've told him, hey, you shouldn't move like this, move like this. You shouldn't move like that, move like that. And, a lot of times he didn't listen, but he comes back later when the shit goes exactly how I said it was going to go. And he was like, yeah, yeah, you was right, Dad. You was right. So as far as teaching the kids the same lessons that we were taught, I really don't do that, because
Mm-hmm.
we had an assortment of lessons that were actually taught. And then, just to be real, mom worked like 2, 3 fucking jobs, man. So goddamn, yeah. I mean, she had a lot of goddamn jobs. So it
Real
wasn't
shit.
really a lot of that shit. I learned kind of on my own. I was a hard headed ass kid who didn't really talk to dad, which I really truly fucking regret. And a lot of those life lessons is lessons that I taught myself that I thought was the right way to fucking go. Like the concept of do what you got to do to get where you need to go, i.e., mama working 3 or 4 jobs. I looked at that as, okay, mama's doing whatever she got to do to make sure we stay fucking afloat. So
Mm-hmm.
that's exactly the way I should fucking live. And for a while, I lived like that until I developed my own fucking mindset. And that's exactly what I teach my kids now, to take my lessons as an example, but that's not like a commandment. You know what I'm saying? That's not set in
Mm-hmm.
stone how you should be. Find your own fucking way. And I'm here to help you along the fucking way. So how about you, man? Because you got younger ones, so you got a lot of stuff to instill in them, and
Yeah.
a lot of teaching to do. So what you think?
I mean, to put it simply, I mean, in some, it depends on the lesson. I don't want to go, these 5 things you should, these 5 things you shouldn't. But I mean, there are some things that just transcend time
Mm-hmm.
and, like respect and manners and shit
Of
like that.
course.
Fucking saying excuse me. Hold on, let me say excuse me, people. Learn how to say excuse me all the
Mm-hmm.
time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That shit is like a lost art
Yeah.
nowadays,
You
man.
definitely gotta have manners.
Yeah, Kim had an experience with that today. So that is so important. But anyway, I think it just depends. I mean, like the life that my children will live is very different from the life that we lived growing up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's just gonna be different. And I mean, I learned a lot growing up from seeing what I didn't want or seeing things how I didn't want them to be.
Mm-hmm.
And one experience, I guess, in my life that really kind of reframed that a lot of the lessons. Because, like, I thought, like you thought, like, oh, when I have kids, you just beat their ass and they figure shit out. You know what I'm saying? Uh, dog leash, fly swatter, belt,
That raw
shoe.
hide.
You know what it is. Any of the above, whatever
Never
is
got the raw hide. I got the fly
yeah.
swatter. Fly swatter. I never did
Yeah.
the raw hide.
So, I mean, sometimes I realize, a lot of times it really takes you as the parent having to, when the kid's not doing what they're supposed to do, step back a little bit and kind of understand the motivation of why. And I think with the way that I parent is I try to like understand why. Like Lamar, he's 3. And a lot of the things that he does are just a function of like him figuring the world out. And I mean, I don't want to necessarily get into a point to where it's like I don't let him figure the world out and beat his ass. You know what I mean? For doing things. Like I want him to learn and to grow and to take risk and understand that there's boundaries and understand what you can and can't do in the world. You know what I mean? Or what you
Mm-hmm.
should and shouldn't do more accurately. And you just think about like um if he's mad about something, okay, let's understand like he's not feeling well or something like that, so he can't necessarily articulate at 3 that he's not feeling well. So it comes out in him being an angry last little guy. And you don't thinking about how we were brought up, you beat their ass for not acting right. But a lot of times what you have to understand is you have to redirect that in a lot of cases, or calm him down. Like with him, what I do a lot of times is I just make him take deep breaths when he's in one of his little funks.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing how 3 or 4 deep breaths changes the situation completely. And growing up, nobody never told me to take a fucking deep breath to calm down or
Mm-hmm.
or anything like that. So I mean, it's one of those lessons that I wasn't taught. It just seemed to make sense for him. For Simone, I mean, she's different in certain aspects, and certain lessons that worked for her won't work. That I learned won't necessarily work for her. And like I was saying, the family that I stayed with when I first moved to Texas, when I first got my first job, watching him parent his 2 girls was amazing to me. And he never really raised his voice at his kids. I think in the entire time I was there, he raised his voice at his daughter once. And when you look at them now, they're successful young ladies.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that's very influential to me. Just seeing how they've developed and all that shit. They both went to college. They both have I can't remember what they do right now, but they both are active and they both have. I know the younger one has a couple books out, and so it's just interesting to see like how like different dynamics can help shape a kid. And you realize that a lot of times some of the lessons we were taught out of necessity, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it really messed me up one day, like when talking about like beating kids. I was always like, spare the rod, spoil the child.
Mm-hmm.
And that's taking that biblical tenet literal, if you will. And to me, as I understand the Bible more and as I read more and I understand more, it's not necessarily about kicking their ass when they do wrong. It's more about discipline them. And discipline takes all forms. And it's up to us as the parents to understand how to discipline that's appropriate for that situation.
Mm-hmm.
And then
That's real.
another thing that kind of changed my perspective on things is like when you look at like other cultures and you look at like us growing up, like, um, most people growing up in the black community, beat their kids, beat their kids, beat their kids, beat their kids, grandma beat you, great grandma, all the way down the line. And Kim was like, is that like a holdover generational trauma, if you will, from like slavery?
Mm-hmm.
And when she brought that up, I was like, damn, that's interesting. And so thinking about that, it's like, will that do any, beating their ass really do anything? Because you think about it as a kid, I'm like, I'm gonna go ahead and take this ass whipping real quick and go ahead and do whatever the hell I was gonna do. It didn't necessarily deter you. You just remember it looking back on it that there were different shoes or whatever. Thankfully, we never got the extension cord and we didn't have to live that life. So
I remember you almost got it. I remember
shit,
you almost got it. I do.
I
I do. God damn it. That's when you took the aerosol can when Mama and them was gone and was spraying the shit. Mama was hot when she came
oh
home.
yeah. I was burning shit.
Wayne saved Joe fucking life because Mama was ready to fuck you up.
I burned some holes in the damn tile. Yeah, I remember that
Mama
shit.
was ready to fuck
Yeah,
you up.
yeah, I remember that shit. Oh man, but yeah. So I mean, even in situations when you look at that, like what was I doing? I was doing an experiment, really. You know what I'm saying? And if you look at that, no, but here's what I'm saying. Like looking at it differently, the initial reaction is, "What the fuck are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Beat they ass." But look at it again. I'm an engineer now. You know what I'm saying? that's the kind of mindset that an engineer takes, is testing shit and seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work, and how to analyze the situation, looking at the results. And a cool little book that we read to Simone is called A to Twisted Scientist. And there's a Netflix cartoon on her now. And when she,
The little melanin girl.
yeah, 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 yeah,
I think we
yeah,
got one of those books too. Yeah, and her parents
yeah,
was like really getting sick of her shenanigans and shit. Like
yeah.
in the
So what
beginning
she
of it.
was when she was doing this, she had a theory and she was writing all over the walls.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
think about it as a kid. If you wrote on the walls growing up, what would happen?
Your
But
ass is grass.
like I think about that, and I think about like by instilling that fear early on, how many scientists and shit like that are discouraged from taking the thought out to its logical conclusion because of that. I mean, you have to discipline. Don't get me wrong. I ain't saying let them live in a situation where they can do whatever they want. They have to understand that every action has a consequence, and going
Most
from
definitely.
that. And I mean, it takes a level of forethought to kind of realize those things. And I think for me, a lot of times is don't respond in the moment to a situation that may happen, because man, kids, whew, they can piss you off and drive you crazy.
Yeah, I never whoop my kids when I'm pissed off at them.
Yeah, you can't. And I mean, I'll say, like that how many of our friends and people that we know growing up can tell stories of like, my mom, my dad, my grandma, my granddad beat my ass for such and such. And you think about it, it's like, is that the right way to go all the time? But yeah, man. I mean, think about it, man. And also, I mean, one of the things too is read some books, listen to some podcasts. I mean, there's a lot more resources out there now for us as parents than there were, and than our parents were growing up, and we have the luxury to consume that information more so than our parents did. You know what I mean? And definitely, I mean, take that time and learn some things. And some of that should take with a grain of salt, because some of that shit I read and see out there is just fucking stupid. But take what you can, and if you take one thing every now and then, and it makes you that much of a better parent, man. And that much, like for example, like the lessons on, like, I taught Simone about interest and how that kind of shit works.
Oh,
And
that's cool.
one of the things that I'm really trying to teach her is delayed gratification. And that's like a big skill for, like, let me put this aside now so I can do something greater in the future. And that's definitely not a lesson that I got growing up. You know what I mean? And I mean, because our parents growing up were just trying to make it. There's so many things out there, and I mean, there's so much more that we can offer now than we got. And again, I don't want to make it seem like I'm shitting on our parents or anything like that, because our parents molded us to who we are, and I'm definitely grateful for everything that mom and dad did for us. And
Oh
then
yeah.
mom fucking held it down. You know what I mean? And I definitely remember that shit, and we'll never forget all the shit that she's done. Definitely appreciate that. So, you got anything else before we close it out on that one?
Well, before I start, in the words of the Migos, Mama. But yeah, cause mom was fucking clutch, man. Like
Yeah, man.
lot of hard choices she had to make, and now that we're grown with our own families, we'd be like, God damn, ma, how did you even manage
Mhm,
that? And not let us be privy to all the bullshit that was really going on. That's fucking
mhm,
amazing. But the last thing I would say, yes, I whoop my kids. I don't beat them excessively to the point where you might want to say it's child abuse. But yeah, I whoop my kids, but I don't just whoop them like, now go sit your motherfucking ass down some goddamn way.
mhm,
I'll beat their ass, and then I'll come back and be like, you know what? You fucked up with this. You fucked up with that. Next time you should do this. Next time you should do that. I let them understand exactly why they're getting their motherfucking
mhm,
ass whooped. I don't just whoop their ass. And like I said, now that
mhm.
I've evolved, because young parent, you thought whooping was the only fucking way to go. But
Sure.
as you got older, you see that that's not really the only option. If you take me there, I'm gonna fuck you up. If not, then we'll talk about it. We'll explain where you fucked up at, and I tell you, you fucked up by doing such
Mhm,
and such and such and such.
mhm,
Another thing we was taught that it's kind of hard for me, but I'm slowly getting over it, is letting my older ones cuss in my presence. like I was completely against it for years because that's how we grew up. Here we couldn't cuss around. We really ain't supposed to be cussing around mom, and we damn sure ain't gonna cuss around grandma either. As far as my children, I'm starting to get to the mindset where you ain't cussing at me, you all right.
I mean, but I even think that just depends. I mean, like, mom, we don't do it around her. I mean, and it's a respect thing.
Yeah.
I mean, and if you don't want your kids to talk like that to you, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, mom was, don't didn't really allow it.
Mm-hmm.
But dad was like, shit, say whatever the fuck you want to say. I'm
Yeah,
gonna say
and
what the
that's
fuck
where
I got to
I'm.
say.
That's what I'm leaning to, also,
Yeah,
because like
it just
letting
depends.
Tangy cuss when we played that game, I was just like, okay. It didn't set
Mm-hmm.
nothing off right the fuck away because as you seen when we was playing the game, she was S word, this and S word. She was not doing that
Mm-hmm.
shit. She was not about to fucking do it. But
But yeah, I
I'm
mean, that's the respect, you know what I'm saying, that she has for you as her father.
yeah,
And I mean, I think that whether she cusses or not, that's the key lesson right there is that respect.
because I beat on mama. No, but seriously, everybody has different parenting styles. Yours and mine is, honestly, it's completely different how we do
Sure.
things. But as long as our kids grow up happy, healthy, safe, and successful, it really don't fucking matter what route it takes to fucking get there.
Mm-hmm.
Just fucking get them there. And for y'all who think like really beating the fuck out your child till they can barely fucking walk is the fucking answer, that is not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily the motherfucking answer because you're not teaching
Right.
them nothing but pain. I know
Mm-hmm.
pain can be a good teacher, but excessive pain, it's just too
Mm-hmm.
much. It's just too much.
Right. Right. I mean, and like I said, every person is different, and that's every individual parent is different.
Mm-hmm.
Every individual child is different. I mean, you,
Mm-hmm.
you have to understand as a parent really how they work, and you got to understand how they operate and how they process the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's very fascinating line of thinking. Just looking at how your kids understand the world around them. And I mean, my thing is, I want my kids to realize that they can achieve whatever they want,
Mm-hmm.
and not like in a you can be anything you want to be kind of bullshit. If you can't sing, you ain't gonna be no damn Beyonce or no shit like
Nah,
that.
nah.
Um, I mean, let's be realistic about it, but realize that you don't have to be limited. Don't
Mm-hmm.
have a limited mindset. Don't
Yeah.
talk yourself out of a situation. Like, figure out the ways how some shit can work versus talking yourself out of it because of risk aversion. You know what I'm saying? Take the risk, and take a calculated risk. And I mean, I think that's essentially how I see things.
Good shit, man. Good shit. So let us know, guys, what y'all think. You know what I'm saying? The lessons first. Let us know what kind of lessons you was taught as a child that you carried on to your
Hmm.
children, and let us know like your kind of parenting style. Like we said, everybody parenting style is different. So you know what I'm saying? Put something in the comments, and maybe we'll take something from it because Big Bro got some young children. I still got at least one that's not in double. I got one that's not in double digits. So there's still some shit I could learn too. So
Yeah.
put some in the comments. Y'all let us know.
Hmm.
And excessively beating your kids is not okay.
Right. All right, man. Let's before we wrap up, how were your accessories, man? How they end off for you?
For starters, they're gone.
Hmm.
It was really good. Nothing wasn't too strong or too overpowering. I thought the cigar was actually stronger than what it was, but it was still a
Hmm.
good cigar, even though it wasn't, that strong. It
Hmm.
smoked really good the entire time. Even when it started to get to the end and started to get hot or whatever, it was
Hmm.
still burning fucking strong as shit. Like I just lit it. And the beginning is actually really good, man. I don't know if I'm gonna add that to my list of alcoholic beverages, but it was a good one. It was a good one.
I might try some of that.
I could see me drinking it again. It was pretty good.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like I said, it had a real four roses kind of feel. So
Oh, okay. So it's a Scotch.
yeah, yeah, it's a
Okay. Cool. Cool.
scotch.
Cool.
Yeah, it was pretty decent, man. And the shit was on sale, so I
Sale is good. Sale is
mean,
good.
but yeah, man, my accessories was pretty damn good this time around, man. How about
Hmm.
yours?
Yeah. The cup, the Infinity Cup, as I like to call it, it's been pretty good, man. Definitely like the mix, but again, like I said, it was a whole bunch of good whiskeys in there. A little Breckenridge, a little Joseph Magnus, some other shit in there. So real good, real good. The cigar, I kind of see why it was so hyped. It was pretty good. Like I said, the draw was a little snug, but it was still a good cigar though. Good flavor, and like I said, I don't like to get into like the actual reviews and like, yeah, I got chocolate and hickory and not that we not cigar reviewers. But I'd recommend it. I mean, I say get you one. I don't think it's like cigar of the year worthy or no shit like that, but definitely real good cigar. Definitely one that I would smoke again. I would get a few more. So, and if they had an event here, I would go check it out and get some more. So, I recommend it.
Good shit, man. Good shit.
Yeah. All right, everybody, we are done. This is episode 73.
Yes, sir.
You got anything else for the people before we close up?
Hey man, y'all follow us on TikTok, man. The Five Language Podcast is now on TikTok. More videos are to come. Y'all know we talk about all types of shit from anime to firearms to being parents. So you never know what kind of content you're gonna see on TikTok. Someone might get us banned. I'm gonna try not. We're gonna try not to, but y'all make sure y'all follow the FOWL Language Podcast on TikTok.
That's right. I don't think we'll get banned, man. We ain't gonna be on there slanging meat, so we'll be all right.
They banned for the stupidest shit up there.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. We'll talk about that one day too. Yeah, everybody. Like I said, anything you want to talk about in the comments, let us know. We love the dialogue. Fuck a troll. If you got points and really want to have a debate and discussion, I'm all for that. That's fun stuff. Yeah. Like I always say, man, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. This crazy world out here, man, and just be safe.
Oh yeah.
And with that, you don't have anything else?
No, I'm good, bro.
All right, man. Yeah, that's it. Episode 73 in the books.
Yes,
we
sir.
out.
Yeah.